Chosen one, you've been fighting a battle your entire life and didn't even know it. Every time you felt misunderstood, rejected, or drained, something profound has been happening. You are tired right now. I don't mean the kind of tired that a good night's sleep can fix. I am talking about a deep, heavy exhaustion that settles in your bones. It feels like you are constantly swimming upstream against a violent current, while everyone around you seems to be floating effortlessly downstream. You look at them, your co-workers, your neighbors, even your own family, and you wonder why life looks so simple for them. They seem to breeze through the day, unbothered, while you feel like you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have probably asked yourself, what is wrong with me? Why is everything so hard? You might have even convinced yourself that you were just unlucky, or maybe that you were suffering from depression or anxiety. But I need you to listen to me very carefully, because the world will never tell you this truth. You haven't just been surviving bad days, you have been dismantling darkness. Chosen one, before we go deeper into this revelation, I need you to pause for a moment. If this message is already speaking to your spirit, if you feel a knot in your soul right now, do not just watch silently. This is not an algorithm accident. This is a divine appointment. Subscribe now, so you don't miss the confirmations God is sending your way. You know exactly how hard the enemy works to distract you right when you are about to receive the word you need the most. Don't let him steal this connection. Lock it in. That exhaustion you feel is not a medical condition, and it is not a personality flaw. It is combat fatigue. You are a soldier who has been deployed in a war zone since the day you were born, but nobody ever gave you the briefing. You have been walking onto the battlefield every single morning without armor and without a map, taking hits from an enemy you couldn't see. And despite all of that, you are still standing. Think about the last time you walked into a crowded room. Maybe it was a family gathering or a meeting at work. You didn't say a word. You didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the atmosphere shifted. You felt the tension rise. People who didn't even know you started acting cold, were defensive. You probably went home that night analyzing every breath you took, wondering, did I do something to offend them? No, you didn't. You did something much more powerful. Your mere presence irritates demons. When you carry a high level of spiritual light, you become a threat to everything that hides in the dark. You walked into that room and your spirit clashed with the jealousy, the greed, and the hidden malice inside those people. You weren't just standing there, you were burning them. You were unwittingly destroying forces of darkness just by being present. People dislike you for no reason because their demons can't stand your light. When they rejected you, it wasn't because you weren't good enough. It was because you were too bright. It was a spiritual allergic reaction. You have been beating yourself up for years thinking you were socially awkward or unlovable, when in reality, you were winning. Heaven has been celebrating your victories, and you didn't even realize it. Every time you felt drained after a simple conversation, it wasn't because you are an introvert. It was because energy vampires were trying to feed on you, and your spirit was fighting them off. You have been locked in hand-to-hand combat with despair, fear, and generational curses, and you have been killing these demons without knowing it. Heaven looks at your life and sees a warrior. You see a messy bank account or a failed relationship, but the spiritual realm sees a hero who held the line when everyone else would have folded. You were not a victim of a hard life. You were a victor in a silent war. I know this is a lot to take in. It changes everything you thought you knew about your past, but you need to understand this because the attacks are not going to stop. They are only going to get more desperate now that you are waking up. But don't worry. You are not doing this alone. In fact, there is proof that you have had backup this whole time. By the end of this video, I am going to reveal the one specific sign that proves an archangel has personally intervened in your life during your darkest hour. You probably missed it when it happened, but once I show you what to look for, you will never doubt your power again. You need to watch this until the very last second, because once you see this sign, you will realize you have already won. The power of your purity. The world loves to tell you to toughen up. Since you were a child, you have probably been told that you are too sensitive, that you wear your heart on your sleeve, or that you care too much about people who don't care about you. Society treats sensitivity like a defect. They look at the narcissists, the ruthless climbers, and the people who can shut off their emotions, and they call them strong. They call you weak because you still feel everything. But this is the biggest lie the enemy has ever sold you. There is a massive divide right now between the sleepers and the chosen ones. The sleepers, often narcissists or people completely disconnected from their spirits, think power is about domination. They think winning means shouting the loudest or getting the last word. But you operate on a different frequency. You are an empath, a light bearer. The very traits you thought made you a target are actually your greatest weapons. Let me explain the physics of the spiritual realm. To a demon, kindness is not soft. It is dangerous. To a dark entity, forgiveness looks like fire. Think back to a moment when someone betrayed you. They lied on your name, they stole from you, or they broke your heart. Every bone in your body wanted to scream. You had the dirt on them. You could have exposed them and ruined their reputation with one text message. But you didn't. You chose to remain silent. You chose to walk away and leave it to God. In the natural world, that looked like you were a pushover. You might have even felt like a coward for not fighting back. But in the spiritual world, you did something terrifying to the enemy. By refusing to engage with their toxicity, you starved the demon. Evil feeds on reaction. It feeds on low vibrational energy like anger, revenge, and bitterness. When you chose peace, you cut off its food supply. You didn't just take the high road, you severed a spiritual stronghold. You dropped a nuclear bomb of peace that the enemy could not handle. If you are still doubting whether your spirit is actually dangerous to darkness, you need to look at the evidence. Your life is full of clues that you carry a heavy anointing. Here are 5 signs that your spirit is a threat to the kingdom of darkness. Number 1. Strangers tell you their life story. You can be standing in line at the grocery store or sitting on a bus, and a complete stranger will start pouring their heart out to you. They tell you their darkest secrets, their traumas, things they haven't even told their spouses. Why do they do this? It's not just because you are a nice person. It is because your light signals safety. Your spirit is a sanctuary, and their souls recognize a place of rest, even if their minds don't understand why they are talking. Number 2. Babies and animals stare at you. Have you ever noticed that babies will lock eyes with you and smile, or just stare intensely? Or that animals, even the ones that are usually aggressive, will come up to you calmly? Children and animals do not have the filters that adults do. They see the spiritual realm clearly. They aren't staring at your face. They are staring at the light radiating from you. They are recognizing the glory you carry. Number 3. Toxic people aggressively dislike you immediately. This is the most painful one, but it is the most validating. You meet someone new, maybe a boss, a friend's partner, or a relative, and before you even speak, they hate you. They are cold, dismissive, or rude. You rack your brain trying to figure out what you did. You did nothing. Their demons saw your angels and panicked. It is not a personality clash, it is a demon clash. Number 4, you feel physical heat or shivers during conflict. When you are in a confrontation or near something evil, you might feel a sudden rush of heat in your chest or hands, or a cold shiver down your spine. That is not just adrenaline, that is your spiritual discernment activating. The heat is the fire of the Holy Spirit rising up to protect you. Number 5, electronics glitch when your emotions are high. When you are going through intense grief or a spiritual breakthrough, do phones freeze, light bulbs flicker, or Wi-Fi signals drop around you? You are an energetic being. When your vibration spikes, it interferes with the electromagnetic field. You are literally high voltage. Stop calling yourself weak. You are a weapon. Every time you forgave, you were fighting. Every time you loved the unlovable, you were burning darkness. You thought you were losing, but you were conquering the entire time. If you can feel the presence of your spiritual team surrounding you right now, type 444 to lock in your angelic protection and blind the enemy to your movements. The demons you never saw. You need to understand who you have really been fighting. For years, you probably thought you were just unlucky in love or surrounded by difficult people. You thought the drama at your job, the betrayal by your best friend, or the cruelty of a family member was just life happening. But that is not true. We need to stop calling it negative energy and start calling it what it is. You have been dealing with spiritual hitmen. Demons don't usually appear as monsters under the bed. In the real world, they use portals. A portal is a human being who is unhealed, jealous, or completely consumed by their own ego. These entities need a body to operate in this physical realm, so they find people who are open to them, people who are filled with envy, greed, or unresolved trauma, and then they use those people to get to you. Listen closely. I know you are watching this quietly, just taking everything in, maybe with tears in your eyes, but chosen ones, like you, don't come across these messages by accident. If this is touching your soul, if you feel like I am reading the pages of your diary, hit that subscribe button. Don't keep walking through spiritual warfare alone when a whole family of chosen ones is right here with you. We are your tribe. Join us. This is why you seem to attract narcissists like a magnet. Had you ever wondered why you, a person who just wants to give love and help others, constantly ends up with partners or friends who drain the life out of you? It feels like a curse, doesn't it? But it is not a curse. It is a strategic assignment. Energy vampires. Those narcissists and manipulators target you specifically because they are starving. They are spiritually dead inside, empty vessels running on fumes. They see your light, your empathy, and your limitless capacity to love, and they want to consume it. They don't love you. They are feeding on you. Think about that toxic relationship you were stuck in. Maybe it was a romantic partner who made you feel small, or a parent who could never be pleased. They constantly provoked you, gaslit you, and tried to get a reaction out of you. Why? Because your emotional reaction was their food. Every time you cried, every time you defended yourself, every time you tried to fix them, you were pouring your high-frequency energy into a bottomless pit. But here is the victory you didn't see. Remember the day you finally walked away. Remember the moment you finally said no more and went no contact. In the natural world, it just looked like a breakup or a family fallout. You probably felt guilty. You probably cried yourself to sleep, wondering if you were too harsh. But in the spiritual world, something massive happened. You cut off the supply line. You starved a demon. When you set that boundary, the entity using that person began to panic. That is why they tried to hoover you back in. That is why they smeared your name to everyone who would listen. They weren't missing your friendship. They were missing their meal. By walking away, you didn't just end a relationship. You killed a parasitic attachment that was designed to derail your destiny. You have to realize that none of this was accidental. The bullying you faced in school, the coworkers who sabotaged you, the friends who smiled to your face but stabbed you in the back, these were coordinated attacks. The enemy sent these people into your life to break your spirit before you could realize how powerful you are. They wanted to make you bitter. They wanted to dim your light so you would forget who you are. But they failed. The fact that you are watching this video right now proves they failed. They tried to bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. The attacks were personal because your purpose is major. They didn't hate you. They hated the God in you. They hated the fact that no matter how much dirt they threw on you, you kept shining. You survived the trap. You identified the agents. And now that you know who the real enemy is, they can never fool you again. The silent wear. Now we need to talk about the war that nobody else sees. We've talked about the people around you, the haters, the narcissists, the energy vampires. But the most brutal combat you have faced hasn't been out there in the world. It has been inside your own head. This is the silent war. It's the battle that happens at 3:30 a.m. when the rest of the world is asleep and you are staring at the ceiling, feeling like your chest is about to cave in. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those waves of sudden, paralyzing fear that hit you out of nowhere. The overthinking that spirals until you feel like you're going insane, replaying every mistake you've ever made, questioning if you are even on the right path. You probably thought that was just anxiety or stress. You might have even thought you were losing your mind. But let's call it what it really is: spiritual distraction. The enemy knows he can't defeat you in a fair fight. He knows your spirit is too strong. So he tries to sabotage your mind. He plants seeds of doubt and fear to keep you paralyzed. Those panic attacks, that wasn't just biology. That was a spiritual attempt to freeze you. That voice in your head telling you that you're a failure, that it's too late for you, that you'll never be happy. That is not your voice. That is a broadcast from the dark side, designed to distract you from your purpose. And the hardest part is the silence. Nobody gives you a medal for the battles you fight alone. Nobody sees you when you're crying in your car in the parking lot before you have to walk into work and put on a fake smile. Nobody saw you on the bathroom floor, praying through the tears, begging for just enough strength to get through the day. You had fought giants in the quiet of your own room and then walked out the door like nothing happened. That is why you feel so isolated sometimes. You carry the weight of a warrior, but the world just treats you like a regular person. They don't see the scars on your soul. They don't know how close you came to giving up. There were moments, be honest with yourself, where you almost threw in the towel. You thought, I can't do this anymore, it hurts too much. But look at you. You were still here, do you realize how powerful that is? The enemy threw everything he had at you. He tried to break your mind with anxiety. He tried to break your heart with betrayal. He tried to crush your spirit with despair. And yet, you are still standing. You woke up this morning. You are still breathing. You are still trying. That isn't just survival. That is total victory. The fact that you went through hell and didn't let it turn you into a demon is a miracle. Think about it. You could have become bitter. You could have decided to seek revenge. You could have become cold and heartless just like the people who hurt you. But you didn't. You kept your heart open. You kept being kind, even when the world was cruel. That is your victory lap. The enemy's goal wasn't just to make you sad. It was to corrupt you. He wanted to make you just like him. But you refused. Your ability to remain soft in a hard world is the ultimate act of rebellion. You looked darkness in the face and said, "You can hurt me, but you cannot change me." You won the silent war simply by refusing to let the world steal your light, and that is why heaven is celebrating you right now. You are the survivor who refused to become the monster. Let the spiritual realm know that you refuse to break. Type 444 to send a signal that you are still standing, no matter what they threw at you. The isolation season. If there is one thing that haunts a chosen one more than the attacks, it is the loneliness. You have probably looked around recently and realized that your circle has gotten incredibly small. Maybe it has disappeared altogether. You spend your weekends alone. The phone doesn't ring like it used to. The invitations have dried up. You see other people out in groups, laughing, partying, and belonging, and you wonder why you can't have that. You wonder why the universe seems to be pushing everyone away from you. You might have cried out asking, "Why am I so alone? What is wrong with me?" But I need you to flip the script right now. This is not a punishment. This is not bad luck. You are currently in what is known as an isolation season, and this season is the most critical part of your forging process. You see, you have looked at rejection as a bad thing your whole life. When that relationship ended, you thought it was a failure. When those friends stopped calling, you thought you were being left behind. When you didn't get that job or fit into that clique, you felt inadequate. But you need to understand that rejection is actually divine protection. The universe God saw things you couldn't see. He saw the conversations happening behind your back. He saw the paths those people were going down, and he knew that if you went with them, you would be destroyed. You were not rejected because you weren't good enough. You were rejected because you didn't fit the dysfunction. You were blocked from those tables because there was poison in the food. The isolation wasn't meant to hurt you. It was meant to insulate you. Think of it this way. When you put a seed in the ground, it has to be covered in dirt. It has to be in total darkness. If the seed could talk, it would say, "I've been buried. This is the end." But the gardener knows the truth. The seed hasn't been buried. It has been planted. You feel like you are in a tomb right now, but you are actually in a womb. You are in a spiritual incubator. You couldn't be normal, and that used to frustrate you. You tried to fit in, didn't you? You tried to laugh at their shallow jokes. You tried to care about the gossip, but it always felt fake. It felt like wearing a suit that was 2 sizes too small. You felt exhausted trying to pretend to be like them. That inability to be normal was a safety mechanism. Your spirit was too big to settle for a small life. If you had fit in perfectly, you would have stayed asleep. You would have settled for a mediocre existence and missed your destiny. Your weirdness saved you. The world is noisy. We live in a matrix of constant distraction. Social media, news, drama, opinions. It is all designed to drown out your intuition. If you had stayed in the crowd, you never would have found your true power. You had to be pulled out of the noise so you could finally hear the signal. The silence of the isolation season is the only place where you can hear the voice of the divine. You are being stripped of everything that isn't you so that you can become who you are actually meant to be. This is the forging fire. Metal cannot be shaped when it is cold and comfortable. It has to be put in the furnace alone. So stop fighting the solitude. Stop trying to force open doors that have been shut for your protection. Embrace this time. The crowd is for the common, but the isolation is for the anointed. You are not alone because you are unlovable. You are alone because you are being prepared for something that the crowd cannot handle. The spiritual awakening, their shadow's specific moment in every chosen one's life when the blindfold finally falls off. It usually happens after the isolation has done its work. You wake up one morning and the heavy fog that has clouded your mind for years just vanishes. You look in the mirror and realize, wait, I'm not crazy. I'm not broken. I'm just awake. For years, you walked around thinking something was wrong with you because you felt things so deeply. You thought you were the problem, but when the shift happens, you realize that your sensitivity wasn't a flaw. It was a sensor. You weren't overreacting. You were detecting. The world was sleepwalking, and you were the only one with your eyes open. This is the moment the victim mentality dies and the warrior is born. You are going through this shift right now. If you were unsure, look at the evidence. Your life is changing in ways you can't explain, but your spirit understands perfectly. Here are the undeniable signs that you have moved from being a target to being a threat to darkness. First, you have completely lost interest in shallow drama and gossip. Remember how you used to tolerate petty conversations just to be polite? Now, you physically can't do it. When people start gossiping or complaining about the same toxic problems they refuse to fix, you feel a visceral need to leave the room. It actually makes you feel sick. Your vibration has risen so high that low-frequency noise is literally painful to your spirit. You aren't being arrogant. You are protecting your peace. Second, your sleep patterns have changed, specifically waking up between 30 a.m. and 5 a.m. You might think this is insomnia, but it's not. In the spiritual realm, the veil between worlds is thinnest at this time. The rest of the world is asleep. The static interference is low, and heaven is trying to download information into you. You aren't waking up because you are stressed. You are waking up for a strategy meeting. Stop fighting it. In those quiet hours, you are receiving the instructions for your next level. Stop right here. If you haven't subscribed yet, ask yourself why. Every time you search for clarity, every time you feel overwhelmed, God guides you to messages like this. This is not a coincidence. It is a lifeline. Don't reject what heaven is trying to give you. Subscribe so you stay connected to the voice that lifts you when no one else does. Do not let the distraction of the world sever this connection. Third, you feel a sudden, urgent need to purge. You look around your house and you just want to throw things away. You are decluttering your closet, your phone contacts, and your social media. You are deleting old messages and distancing yourself from old friends who don't align with who you are becoming. This isn't a manic episode. It is spiritual hygiene. You are instinctively clearing space because you know deep down that something massive is coming and you need room to receive it. Fourth, your intuition is terrifyingly accurate. You know things before they happen. You think of someone and they call. You get a bad feeling about a situation that looks perfect on paper, and a week later, it falls apart exactly like you felt it would. You are no longer guessing. You are knowing. You have night vision now. This is why the title of this message says heaven is celebrating. The most dangerous thing to the enemy is not just a good person, it is an awake person. For a long time, you were fighting blind, swinging at shadows in the dark. But now the lights are on. You see the traps. You see the energy vampires. You see the purpose behind the pain. The enemy is terrified because he can no longer manipulate you through fear or confusion. You have taken the red pill. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances, helpless to whatever life throws at you. You have realized that you are the architect of your new reality. The sleeper has awakened, and the war has completely turned in your favor. The divine force has baned you. You have spent so much time focusing on the enemies in front of you that you forgot to look at who is standing behind you. Because the attacks have been so relentless and the isolation so deep, it is easy to feel like a lone wolf. You walk into these battles every day at work, in your relationships, in your own mind, thinking it is just you against the world. But if God were to peel back the veil for just 1 second, you would fall to your knees. You are not fighting alone. You are backed by the most powerful army in existence. If you could see into the spiritual realm right now, you would see that for every demon trying to trip you up, there are 2 angels standing guard. You are surrounded. You have never been unguarded for a single second of your life. And I can prove it to you. Remember, at the start of this video, I promised to reveal the one specific sign that proves an archangel has personally intervened in your life. You probably missed it because you were looking for lightning or a booming voice. But the sign is much more subtle and much more powerful. The sign is unexplainable peace in the midst of chaos. Think back to the absolute worst moment of your life. Maybe it was the day you got fired, the day a loved one died, or the day a relationship ended in a way that shattered you. By all logical standards, you should have had a nervous breakdown. You should have lost your mind. But then, right in the middle of the screaming and the tears, a sudden, heavy calm washed over you. It wasn't that the problem was fixed. It was that your fears suddenly vanished. You felt a stillness that didn't make sense. You might have even thought, why am I not freaking out right now? That wasn't shock. That was Archangel Michael stepping in front of you. He saw that your human mind was about to snap under the pressure, and he deployed a shield around your consciousness. He literally blocked the frequency of fear so you could survive the impact. That peace was his presence. He was holding the line while you caught your breath. You have a specialized team working with you. You need to know them because you need to start working with them. Archangel Michael has been the one clearing your path. When people suddenly exit your life without explanation, that is Michael cutting the cords. You were too attached to let them go even though they were toxic. You prayed for happiness, so Michael answered by removing the people who were stealing it. He is the bouncer of your life, removing the threats you didn't even see coming. Then there is Archangel Raphael. Think about the heartbreaks that should have destroyed you, the betrayal that felt like a physical knife in your chest. How did you recover from that? How is your heart still soft? That is Raphael's work. He has been pouring healing oil into your spiritual wounds while you sleep. He is the reason you aren't bitter. He is the reason you can still smile. And Archangel Gabriel, those sudden downloads of ideas, the business plan that popped into your head in the shower, the urge to write, to create, to speak. That is Gabriel delivering the blueprints for your destiny. He brings the messages that guide you to your purpose. You need to shift your mindset today. You are not a helpless victim begging for a break. You are a commander in the field. You are the ground troop, the boots on the ground in the physical world. But they are your air support. A soldier on the ground doesn't try to fight a tank with a knife. He picks up the radio and calls in the airstrike. That is your job now. Stop trying to fight these spiritual battles with your human strength. You will burn out. Instead, recognize your team. When the anxiety hits, acknowledge the support you have. You are part of a hierarchy that has never lost a war. You are protected, you are guided, and you are lethal to the enemy because you are backed by the forces of heaven. The final activation. Now that you understand your true function and you know who is backing you, it is time to stop playing defense. For most of your life, you have been reacting. You have been dodging hits, trying to survive the day, and wondering when the next attack is coming. That ends today. You cannot just know this information intellectually. You have to live it. It is time to move from accidental victory to conscious warfare. Up until now, you have been killing demons by accident, just by being yourself. Imagine what happens when you start doing it on purpose. Tomorrow morning, when you walk into that toxic job, or when you have to deal with that negative family member, do not shrink. Do not dim your light to make them comfortable. I want you to walk in with intent. Visualize the light inside of you expanding outward, physically pushing back the shadows in the room. You are not trapped in that environment with them. They are trapped in there with you. To do this effectively, you need to understand the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. This is the most important strategy you will ever learn. Most people, the sleepers, are thermometers. They walk into a room, they feel the temperature, and they react to it. If the room is anxious, they become anxious. If the people are angry, they become angry. They are victims of the atmosphere. But a chosen one is a thermostat. You do not reflect the temperature, you set the temperature. When you walk into chaos, you do not join it. You bring the calm. You decide that the vibe in this room is going to be peace, and you hold that frequency until the atmosphere shifts to match you. If they are screaming, you get quieter. If they are frantic, you get slower. Your peace must be louder than their noise. You force the environment to align with you, not the other way around. This is how you dominate a room, without saying a word. You also need to understand the stakes of this battle. You aren't just fighting for your own peace of mind. You are fighting for your bloodline. Have you ever looked at your family history? Look at the patterns. Look at the addiction, the poverty, the failed marriages, the trauma that keeps repeating generation after generation. It has been a cycle of pain. But then you are born. The reason your life has been so incredibly hard is because you are the chain breaker. You are the one assigned to say, "It stops with me." The enemy attacked you harder than anyone else in your family because he knew you were the one who was going to sever the cord. You took the hit so your children and your grandchildren wouldn't have to. You are the dam that stops the flood of trauma. When you win, your entire lineage wins. You are clearing the spiritual debris for generations to come. So, here's the final shift in your mindset. You are no longer fighting to win. You are fighting from a place of victory. There is a huge difference. When you fight to win, you are desperate. You are afraid you might lose. But when you fight from victory, you are confident. The battle has already been decided. The verdict has been read in heaven, and you were declared the winner. Your job now is simply to enforce the verdict. When fear tries to creep back in, you don't argue with it, you just evict it. When the enemy tries to remind you of your past, you remind him of your future. You walk with your head high, not because you are arrogant, but because you know the war is over and you are still standing. You are not surviving anymore, you are reigning. The final reflection. Look at how far you have come. You clicked on this video because you were searching for answers. You were looking for a reason why your life has felt like an uphill battle, why you have felt so exhausted, and why you never seem to fit in. But I think you found something much more important than just answers. You found yourself. Take a moment to let everything we have talked about sink in. For years, you carried the heavy title of the black sheep. Your family, your schoolmates, and maybe even society made you feel like you were the mistake. They made you feel like you were the odd one out, the one who was too sensitive, too intense, or too different. You spent decades apologizing for your existence, trying to shrink yourself down to fit into boxes that were too small for your spirit. But now the truth is out. You were never the mistake, you were the mission. The reason you didn't fit in with them is because you were sent to break the very patterns they were comfortable living in. You weren't rejected, you were hidden. You weren't broken, you were being forged. You went from being the misunderstood outcast to realizing you are a high-ranking spiritual officer. The black sheep was actually the lion in disguise. I want you to really think about the logic of your victory. The enemy threw his absolute best shots at you when you were asleep. He attacked you when you were a child, when you were confused, when you were heartbroken, and when you felt completely alone. He had every advantage. He struck when you had no armor and no understanding of the war, and yet he still couldn't destroy you. You survived 100% of your bad days without even knowing you were in a fight. You defeated demons of depression, anxiety, and betrayal while you were fighting blindfolded. So I have to ask you, if the darkness couldn't kill you when you were weak and unaware, what makes you think anything can stop you now? Now you are awake. Now you have your night vision. Now you know that Archangel Michael is clearing your path and Raphael is healing your heart. Now you know that your kindness is a weapon and your peace is a shield. You are dangerous now because you are conscious. The enemy missed his window of opportunity. He tried to crush a seed, but he only managed to bury it. And now that seed has become a tree with roots so deep that no storm can knock it over. This is your coronation. You are graduating from the school of hard knocks and stepping into your role as a chosen one. The time for pity parties is over. The time for wondering, why me, is over. You know why you. It had to be you because you were the only one strong enough to handle the assignment. You were built for this pressure. So, this is where we draw the line in the sand. This video isn't just content, it is an initiation. I need to know who is ready to step onto the battlefield. I need to know who is done being a victim and ready to be a victor. I don't want you to just watch this and scroll to the next video. I want you to leave your mark in this digital space. I want you to declare your status to the spiritual realm. If you are ready to accept your power, if you are ready to stop apologizing for your light and start using it to push back the darkness, I want you to go to the comments right now. I want you to type 4 simple words that will shake the enemy to his core. Write, I am the WV Bon. Let the algorithm know. Let the universe know. Let the demons know that you are awake and you are reporting for duty. Scroll down and flood the comments. Join the thousands of other warriors who are waking up right beside you. You are not alone anymore. As you leave this video and go back into your life, I want to speak a final covering over you. May your eyes remain open to the spiritual reality around you. May your heart remain soft enough to love, but your spirit remain hard enough to withstand any attack. May you walk into every room and shift the atmosphere. You are protected, you are chosen, and you are victorious. Go and be the light that burns the darkness. The world has been waiting for you. Before you go, chosen one, don't forget, the fact that you made it to the end of this message means something. Your spirit needed this. Do not walk away without subscribing. It costs nothing, but it means everything for the journey God is taking you on. Join the family. Your breakthrough might be in the next video.